Morning, everyone. Today is going to be, we're going to be taking a look at the Exceed Further to QuickBooks Online interface. And I want to start on the QuickBooks side. I want to show you a couple things, some important things you're going to have to configure first. Let me go into the all lists. So today we're going to talk about products and services, payment methods, and classes. Classes and products and services, these are probably the two most important things that we'll have to worry about here. So let's open up the products and services, and you'll notice I have some samples here, and they're all marked as type service. So when you go to add a new service or a new item to this list, you will need to make sure it's marked as a service. You'll give it a name and tie it to an income account. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind. And on the Exceed Further side, we're going to see that these services are going to be kind of a direct mirror of our credit code. And again, we'll look at that in a minute. Now let's go back to the lists, take a look at your classes. So you need to also make sure that you're using class tracking. So here I have some sample classes set up, and on the Exceed Further side, these are going to map to the Exceed Fund code. That's kind of why I put the word fund here, just as kind of a reminder. And then last but not least, the payment methods. So QuickBooks, you can create as many payment methods as you want. On the Further side, we tightly control those because there's a lot of programming logic built into those codes. So yeah, so it's not super important, but when we get into the mapping process, I'll kind of show you how that works. Now let me bring up Exceed. Let me bring these up side by side so you can kind of see. So I'm already in my admin panel under codes, and I have my Exceed Fund code list here. And remember, the fund codes are going to map to the QuickBooks classes. So let me go back to the classes, and you can see that these directly mirror what I have set up here and Exceed Further. So just remember, Further Fund equals QuickBooks class. And the Further credit code, let me load this list. That is going to directly mirror your services that you create here. All right, so once you have your products and services set up and your classes on the QuickBooks side and your funds and your credits, now you are ready to start processing donations on the Further side. So let's get into that. Let me expand this and close out of admin. So one thing you're going to have to do, in addition to making sure you have a method, a credit, and a fund code attached to every gift that you put into Exceed Further, is you're going to need to make sure you create a batch code, a unique batch code, which can be found under Gifts and Pledges, Batch Manager. And to do that, so this would show you all the batches that you have done in the past. I'm going to click Add. This is going to be a new batch of gifts. And let's say these are going to be all auction. So your batch code can be up to 10 characters. So you could do like 2/23, like February 2023 auction, or AUC, you're limited. The naming scheme is totally up to you. So say there's $500 in this batch of gifts I'm about to add. I'm going to set this as current. So every time I add a new gift, it will automatically attach this batch code to the gift. So that kind of makes it my job easier. I'm going to hit Save and Add Gift. And let's say my first donor's last name is Steele. Let's say it's Bob Steele. And he gave $100. And it was cash, we'll say, just to keep it easy. And this was live auction. And that is going to go into my capital fund, we'll say. All right. You can see the batch code defaults here, so that looks good. I'm going to hit save. And now my batch actual should go up by that 100. You can see it's still set to 0, but if I click refresh, it will refresh that. So now, and if I hit view details, I can see there's my Bob Smith. So anytime you don't see the batch actual go up, just hit the refresh button. Okay, now let's say I have another donor. I'm going to go to quick add gifts, and this is Chris Matthews. Let's say he gives a check, and he gives $300. This is my silent auction. That's going to go into my capital fund. And he wrote the check a couple days ago. Okay, so now I'm almost there to my expected. Let's say I have another $100 gift to add to my buddy Frank, Ben Franklin, let's say. And that is also a check. And this is going to silent auction and my capital fund. Okay, hit save. All right, so I've just completed entering a bunch of gifts into my batch. And one thing you can do is, like I said, click view details. Everything looks good. You know, we have one live auction item and a couple silent auction items. Okay, so now if I want to send this batch over to QuickBooks, what I do is I go to interfaces and I will, before I send that over, let me show you what you'll need to do first. In order to get this batch to post, we're gonna have to go to account setup, but before we can set up our account, we need to click connect to QuickBooks here. So you'll always, when you come to this, the interfaces, QuickBooks, you always want to connect. Now, I've already connected, so it knows, it saved a token, so it knows that I've given it permission. When you connect for the first time, there will be a screen that says, are you sure you want to allow Exceed Further to make changes? And just say yes, and then that will get you in. So now we are directly connected. We've directly connected Exceed Further to QuickBooks Online. So now what we'll have to do before we can post is go to account setup. I'll come back to posting options here in a minute. And so what you would want to do is go through, and I've already done this, but the code in the description here on the left, these are all the Exceed Further codes. And I've already gone through, and when you initially set this up, there will be a number 0 here that lets you know that you need to map these. And so you'll click the edit button, and since we're directly connected to QuickBooks, this is showing us all of our classes that we map to. So you just select the class on the QuickBooks side, hit save, and you do that for every fund that you have. Once you've done that, you can go to the credits code and do the same thing. You're gonna have a bunch of zeros here, click edit, choose your QuickBooks item, hit save, and then go to the methods, map your methods as well, pretty straightforward. And then if you're going to be posting pledges, you'll want to go to the default accounts tab, and then tell the system which receivable account is your pledges receivable account. So I've already done that as well. Now, one final thing in the account setup is telling the system how you want to deal with donors from Exceed Further going into QuickBooks Online. I have mine set to post all entries in detail, which means that all of my Exceed Further donors are going to become customers or donors on the QuickBooks side. And I've chosen to update the address because I'm always making sure that the further side always has the most current address attached to them. Now, if you wanted to just post summary entries for certain gifts, maybe you want to see, maybe you want to transfer the donor names if their gifts are over a certain amount, you can do that. Some people don't want anything to do with the donors going into the customer list. They just want their gifts going into the registry. So you can kind of deal with it. In my experience, most people want to see the detail. If you include comma in name, when it posts the donor's name into the customer list, it will be posted last name, comma, first. So if you want it to be first space last, you would uncheck include comma in name. And then if you want both names, if it's a couple that gives and you want both names to go into the registry, you can do that. And you'll want to hit save. You've made any changes to the posting options. So that's pretty much it for account setup. The depending on the size of the number of funds and credits you have, this process could take a while, but once you're done, it remembers all your mapping. So now we can start posting donations to QuickBooks. So let's go to posting maintenance. And I want to see my active batches, which is my 2/23 auction. QuickBooks likes to reference a transaction date, so I'll just put today's date. We just want all the things we haven't posted yet. This shows us a list of all the unposted batches, and then we can kind of go through. This looks good. All right, we're dealing with the right thing. Now, if you wanted to hit print, you could print a report before you posted it. But let me hit post. It's gonna do a validation process to make sure everything is mapped properly. Okay, so it posted 3 gifts in the amount of 500. That looks good. Now, the next step is to lock the batch, but you don't want to lock it until you've gone to QuickBooks and verified that everything went as planned. So let's go over to QuickBooks. Now, when donations are posted from further to QuickBooks, they go into the undeposited funds account. So let me pull up my chart of accounts. And here I have my undeposited funds account. I can click view register just to verify. Yeah, there's Franklin Matthews and Bob Steele. Okay, so that looks good. Now, if I want to deposit these, I can go to new and choose bank deposit. All right, it finds my 3 donations that I posted. Now, if you have multiple bank accounts, you can choose the one you want it to go into. I just have the one that makes it easy. I'm gonna select all, and then I'll just do save and close because I don't need to do another batch. And now I've successfully posted and made the deposit on the QuickBooks Online side. So the last thing to do is to go back to exceed further and then lock the batch. Oh, okay, so it's still, I have to hit refresh. Now I have to go to the posted because I was on not posted. So now it's officially recognized as posted. So now I can click lock. Are you sure? Okay. And what locking the batch does is it just ensures that no one accidentally posts this again, which it's very rare. And if you did try to post it again, it would say, hey, this is already posted. Are you sure? Because maybe you got rid of, maybe the post originally went in to the wrong place, or there was a problem. So you had to kind of get rid of the previous post and fix something here. So you can, in fact, repost the posted batch, but once it's locked, you cannot do that. Okay, so and that is just a general overview of. I mean, I think I ran through this pretty quickly, but I wanted to kind of get this out and show you just the general gist of how the two systems work together. And if you have any questions, if you have special, like maybe some certain kinds of gifts that you don't want to post, or just any questions in general, just reach out to your account manager or support, and we can help you with any questions you might have. Thanks for watching.